Peace, light, and love, everybody. Thank you so much for getting with us. We doing this thing called the SIRIUS Cypher yet again. And I want to thank the sisters showing up in the house and in effect today. And so we got together already. We called upon our spiritual support. So trust that's all in alignment right there. We set it off with the 528 hertz, and we are in agreement to operate within the highest vibration right in here. And so I wanted to bring a quick reflection before I really start diving a little bit further into all of this. Because our last week, I really wanted to make sure that for this particular cipher, that we are all working together on the same page for the highest and greatest good. And so when Spirit gave it to me to really start us with dealing with the tarot system, it was always in my heart for us to be able to take this knowledge that we got and bring it down to earth. And so with that, I wanted to make sure that we understood that we're here to speak truth to power, but we're going to be respectful because we all go see it differently. We're going to be concise. And so we get to do this thing over again today for the cipher this particular time. And so we're setting it off where we're going to allow everybody to speak their truth uninterrupted for 2 minutes, and then they pass the mic and let the next person bring it on. Because we came here to build, not agree necessarily, but definitely get a build session on. So I wanted to reflect on this real quick, because it's easy for us to judge, and it's more difficult for us to understand, because understanding requires compassion, patience, and a willingness for all of us to really believe that folks with good hearts sometimes choose poor methods. And through judging, we get into the business of separating. But through understanding, we about the business of growth. And so last week, Spirit saw that we deal with some energy that showed up in a powerful way, I thought, for us to all get on this same page and bring our energy, that same thing. Oh, let's not get it twisted. But Spirit saw it fit for us to deal with it. So let me pull out my book and talk about this card, because the card that I pulled last week was the Knight of Swords. I don't know, my background is blurring that out. But the Knight of Swords, so I'm dealing with the Lyciers Tarot deck. So the Knight of Swords, let me tell you about this energy real quick. The key words on this is daring, chivalry, and forthrightness. Also, impatience, single-mindedness, and insensitivity. See, knights often symbolize travel, and some decks, including one of the ones that I got, which is the Rider-Waite-Smith, which is the traditional tarot, it shows that knight that's like hell-bent on running towards an adversary. If this is an energy that represents someone, this is a person that might be a little aggressive, a little overly aggressive, or argumentative. And perhaps even sometimes they live in attack mode. This person is a spiritual warrior, and one that uses the intellect to examine and purify themselves at the end of the day. And see, this Knight of Swords energy, it can turn into something different if we don't check that at the door. And so I brought in a clip just a little clippy clip that's going to bring a little lighthearted humor, right, to this real talk that we got going on right here. And this is going to give us a little bit of a twist of funny on this profound truth.
Watch where you walking, nigga. Hey, what you say, nigga?
Watch closely. You're about to experience a nigga moment. Webster defines the nigga moment as a moment when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical Negro man.
What did you say, bitch, nigga? Hey, squeeze it, nigga.
Causing him to act in an illogical, self-destructive manner, i.e., like a nigga. Nigga moments are unpredictable.
Hey, wait, man, wait. This is stupid. Hey, you right, dog. Look, let's put the guns away and go on about our business. Freeze!
But they all end up bad. If they had their own category, nigga moments would be the third leading killer of black men behind pork chops and fiends. It's a fact. Now let's see how a nigga moment affects a white man.
Watch where you walking, bitch.
What did you? Wait a minute. I'm white.
Where you going? Don't you ignore me. This is a perfectly good moment to throw your life away.
A perfectly good moment to throw your life away. Whatever. Now, we also know that we done seen some white folks in some nigga moments. We seen it on January the 5th or the 6th or whatever the hell that was, right? So nigga ain't nobody above the nigga moment. However, the profoundness of how the dude said, hold up, I'm a white dude. Hold up, I'm God. But before I propose these questions, let me just run this past y'all right quick, because I want to check this right here. Because this ain't about no judgment. This is about this energy that we all get into. I want to talk about this dark empath. We call him the shadow warrior or the dark worker or the wild moon child, whatever in the hell you call this energetic worker. But these cats right here, these is warriors for humanity. And once they understand how they tick, they dangerous. They dangerous. They gangster. Why? Because they outfox skill manipulators for the highest and greatest good, of course. Because they came here to deal with those narcissistic personalities. Because the mean-spirited, the insensitive, the apathetic, those type of cats piss them off. And I suspect that energy within not only myself, but within a lot of folks that's within this cipher. And so we here to get here and we gonna talk about it. And what needs to happen. And how we can navigate this energy that shows up in all of us, because this deck is all about human energy and how we express it. That's what it is. So I want to open up the floor right now. Who identifies with this dark empath? Who does that resonate with? Is there anybody that want to take the wheel? Let's get it, Aquarius Moon. I see your hand up. Can you unmute yourself? Hold up, I got you.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
So yes, this dealing with narcissistic folks, that seems to have been a pattern in my life for a long time. So I've been doing it was coming in 3-year cycles for me at first. So, but this last cycle has lasted 12 years. So the energy though, when you pulled the card, the thing that came to me, because let me tell you how I work. Um, I go off of the energies that I receive, and how I interpret them is by um my past experiences. So that's how spirit deals with me.
Mm.
And when you pulled that card last week, it was like that full steam ahead energy. You know what I mean? Get it done, get it done, get it done. So but you're moving forward so quickly that you're not paying attention to the dangers, you know what I'm saying, that are off to the side. It's like, you had your horse in the race and got on blinders, you know what I mean? So you can't look to the left or to the right. You're just full steam ahead. So that leads to danger in my eyes. That's where, that card lays with me. It brings me to a place where I'm more cautious of what's going on in the world around me. I take more mental notes on, how I'm feeling and the energies that run through me and things like that. But as far as the dark spirits and here to wake people up and things like that, when I'm dealing with those narcissistic people in my life, is always that we're butting heads because I'm trying to bring to light, their actions and how they affect others and not just
Okay.
themselves.
Okay.
And they never take responsibility for anything in their lives, not even, I'm saying, most of the times, anything at all. Anything that happens is never their fault. So it's like I try to bring those things to light, and at the end of it, it never works for me. So I'm at the point where I'm kind of like trying to lean away from that, and I'm just going to let people do what they do. But I really know that that's not my mission. But I just know that I can drop down the jewels to people who are willing to pick it up, and the rest I just have to let lay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Miss Kavina, let's get it, lady.
Oh, wow, Kian, beautiful share. Um, that is it's I mean, the woo. I mean, I almost don't even want to come on. She hit it on the head. Um, dealing with this energy of repeat behaviors. And I know for me, this Lion's Gate, and I've been tracking it for the last 3 years, it's always bringing me energy from the past to see if I'm really ready to move forward with where I'm going. And it's hard because it's people that I love. It's people that I love. And this Lion's Gate, realizing that I was headed toward a nigga moment with my biological mom, over some things that occurred, and something stopped me and was like, it's time to let her know she's a narcissist, even if she decides to never talk to you again. So when Kian said it, I'm like, my knees buckled, because I'm like, this was literally just been my last 24 hours. And it's been one of the scariest moments in my life, because I was raised by my mom's sister, which is the baby, to love my mom. And I do love her. But in loving her, I can no longer keep up this relationship. And you are, like she said, you are creating stories as to why you gave up 8 kids. It's everybody else's fault. And it's like, it's to a point where it's like, if we're going to continue a relationship, we got to get past certain realities. I'm not here to judge you on that. I just want to get to know you as a woman. Like, I've been mothered, I've been grateful, I've been blessed, but let's get to know one another. And this my nigga moments have been people wanting to convince what I already know. And so now it's been a humility piece for me to step back and say, you will not walk with crazy. It's time to drop the hand, and it's time to kind of look and create a space. But it's coming up differently, because usually, I mean, I would be like, nope, bullshit. That's da 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 and da da da. Nope. And I would literally read you for filth. And I feel like this Lion's Gate, I'm finally getting to this point of saying, I don't have to walk with crazy, but in that, I don't have to be silent either. And I can still give you unconditional love, even if you choose not to be in my life. And I have to be okay with that. But if we're going to have a relationship, it needs to be one that's authentic, and it needs to be one of accountability, not pointing fingers, but accountability. And if we can't be accountable, let's not bring it up. Don't bring it up. Let's just don't, let's keep that as you're still writing in your journal. I'm still writing in my journal. but don't bring it to the table if you don't want to be accountable. And learning how to do that with grace, and then still not internalizing or compartmentalizing it, because I know my masculine energy will be like, "Ooh, zoop, never mind," but actually still allowing myself to process the pain of it, the feelings of it, is making myself accountable for my seeds of narcissism, because I'm like, I was birthed from a narcissist. So, you know, I'm like, that's something that's in my DNA. You got to constantly, like Kian was saying, you got to constantly check in. So going back to some simple things like with the priestesshood, constantly checking in. I every 3 hours, I check in with myself. Kavina, how are we feeling? If I find myself upset, I'm like, okay, like it was so funny that you mentioned the nigga moment, because I had one in the store today. It was a Ukrainian. She was Slavic, and I literally looked and turned around and I told my kids, like, if you want to see a nigga moment, this is it. And my children were so confused because they're so used to black, but that's only being for black. And I'm like, no, nigga means ignorance. And I want you all to look at this lady. Do you see her demeanor? Do you see how she's yelling at me? I don't know who this lady is. I don't know why she thinks she's qualified to talk to me. We're just in the store. So all of a sudden the store manager comes over and I'm like, thank you. I need security. I need security. And it was weird because my daughter says, you were the Karen in that situation.
Oh, wow. Hold up. We got 2 minutes in. Let me
So-
let the divine priestess come. We'll get back to you.
No
Just
problem.
a second. All right, lady.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Got you now.
Yo, I love this. Priestess Kavina hit on something real. Whoo, boy. I mean, when she said it, I said, "Oh Lord, my soul is on fire." It's the accountability. You know what I mean? You know, they say it's the accountability for me. That's what it is. It's truly about accountability. Because when we don't do those daily check-ins or hourly check-ins, however much you may need it, because we're all in different spaces, those nigga moments tend to rise up. And the thing is with narcissism that I have found, everybody please chime in if this is what you have found as well. But what I have found is that narcissism stems from lack of control. It's like, listen, I want to control this. I want to control that. I want to control this, all because they themselves are spinning out of control. Man, that accountability, that looking in the mirror. When I tell you mirror work is necessary, I don't care if you need to carry a pocket mirror. Just look at yourself. Not today. I don't control it. Like, you know what I mean? And the nigga moments show up. And it's so crazy. Priestess Kavina hit on it again, like in the video, because it caught me off guard. In the video, the guy said, "Oh, I'm white," and kept it moving. And her daughter was like, "Mom, I thought that was for black folk." It's funny, the word association, right? The prison we've put ourselves in. Because how did we become, and I'm saying we as a culture,
Absolutely.
so comfortable with these nigga moments, with these nigga reactions, these nigga titles, like we embrace it, and that's okay. I don't care, you know. Hell, I say nigga so much that they probably think that's their name at the time, but it makes me wonder. You know what I mean? Like this is what we put out, and then wonder why we are spinning out of control in the narcissistic moments. We are so contradictory. It's nigga this, nigga that, nigga this. No, I'm a king, I'm a god, I'm a priestess. Sit your ass down, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? So I just think that accountability, man. The night, oh man, when that night came up, I was like, man, talk about accountability, because the night itself, if you look at any night card in any tarot deck, the night card, the horse in some shape, form, or fashion is not fully planted on the ground. That's an instability. You see what I'm saying?
Ooh,
and that's that
yes.
lack of control.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that lack of
Powerful.
control. They can't control it. So, you know, I really love the way y'all open this up. Mirror time, accountability, nigga moments. Thank you. I'm complete.
All right. Hey, Aquarius Moon, we got you up here. Hold up, let me unmute. All right, there we go.
Okay, so actually I was going to reply to the Divine Priestess, but I lost my thought that quick because when she started getting into more stuff, I'm like, oh yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
But as far as dealing with nigga moments, oh, that's what it was. So dealing with nigga moments and how we got so comfortable with them. That's what I wanted to address. So for me, I feel like it's a trauma-based reaction. You know, it is trauma-based and it came passed down to us from generations before. You know, it was learned behavior from our slave masters and we just became comfortable with it. You know, like how can I put it? So kind of like you're going to play into the role that they gave you. So therefore you won't buck the system and they won't be so scared of you. Yes, I'm going to sit over here. I'm just going to sit down here and be this dumb nigga because I know if they know how smart I am, it's going to be a problem. And then somewhere along the way, we forgot to be smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We forgot that this is just a show for these other motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that was what I wanted to address when what the priestess had said.
Absolutely. Hey, who's this on this iPhone right here? Who's in the house? On the iPhone.
It's me, Aunt.
What's going on, brother? Did you want to chime in on anything?
Yeah, absolutely. And shout outs to all the priestesses out there.
Yes. Yes.
One thing about art, everything in our DNA that we working on, and one thing about us, like I can say about myself, what I've been going through and defining myself and not looking outside of myself, but like looking in the mirror, doing my work. You know what I mean? Sometimes things happen for a reason, and you're here to really define something. And sometimes that could be frustrating based on everything that we've been through, everything that I've been through, but that's no excuse. I take full responsibility of what I've been through, and I know I want to go to the next level. But what does that take? What does that take? Some people are afraid to get to that next level.
Now,
You know what I mean?
that's a powerful question right there. What does that take?
What does it take?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I can definitely connect and relate to the whole nigga moment because, Kian both know, you understand, we grew up together. I had a very cracked childhood, y'all. And with that, it has definitely allowed me to see darkness in a lot of people. And so I walk around already,
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the work that I've done in my life is where I kind of question motives. You know what I'm saying? I give folks the side eye. And whenever I get into an energy where I feel like there's opposition, there's definite potential for nigga moments to come. Now, with me doing the work that I've been doing, what I have noticed, and I hate sounding so cliche, but if somebody else wants to chime in, meditation has not only helped me to gain a greater sense of clarity, but it's also helped me to not be so quick to react. Has anybody had that experience with meditation? Like, it looks different for everybody.
Yes. Yeah. See, because that's the thing about me. Like, I know when it comes to discipline about myself, like when it comes to meditation, when it comes to doing your work, and especially as a Black man, like when it comes to doing your work, because half where I come from, it's no such thing. People say they're about this work, but they're not.
Yeah.
And therefore, I got a pure heart, but yet the work that I need to do in the spiritual work, it's like, I can feel fucking bad about it. Like, but at the same time, if I can manage my life in a way where I'm gonna do what I need to do, You know what I mean? I'm gonna do it. So hold on just a sec. Y'all go ahead and speak, cause
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And so I wanted to just like touch base with that, because one thing I want to say is ain't none of us above this. Hold up. Look, I see the sister right here. I got you.
Yes, that was such of a beautiful point that the brother Anthony brought up, because as many of you all know, I know Kian may not and Anthony may not, but I'm recovering from Achilles, ripping my Achilles in half. And the fear of what I'm gonna be like once the doctor says no more therapy, no more this, it has been terrifying. And I've had to actually deal with those inside nigga moments, like he was just saying. I had to deal with that, the fear of that unknown. And I'm not a scary person. So the fact that he brought that up is something that is so powerful, because I've actually been dealing with that, even if it's small as, am I going to be able to play basketball again? Am I going to be able to play tennis again? Am I going to be able to run with my children like I used to? Just that unknown as I evolve through this experience. It's like, I mean, that is an aspect of,
yeah.
you know, that often just miss.
And I'm sorry. My ex just walked in the door because we still roommates, so it got chaotic real quick. So kind of try to interrupt me, but no, go ahead, keep saying what you were saying. You know.
Okay, we put you on mute. Don't worry about it. We can't hear you. We put you on mute.
All right.
All right, cool. Okay. Kavina, did you want to finish your point, or you good?
Oh, I was wrapping it up. And sending love. I know how that can be. Sending you love, brother. We here with you, sending you some good stuff.
We are, man. Yeah. You know, we definitely understand. We all been there, done that. No doubt about it. So listen, so when we talk about this whole energy of the Knight of Swords, and I love how Priestess Andrea, she got in there and she talked about how that Knight of Swords, the knight, is always on one foot, which indicates a little bit of instability. And so when we start noticing that folks got that instability, we look at trauma, right? Because like I talked about my childhood, like it wasn't traumatic. I just saw a lot of foolishness. You know what I'm saying? But real trauma that people experience, does that give us a pass in how we handle people? I mean, does that give you the pass to be able to say, well, this individual got a traumatic past, you know, they was abused, they was mistreated in their life, you know what I'm saying? So they get a pass for the nigga moment. Okay, Aquarius Moon, what's up with that? I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can unmute it real quick. But as far as the does instability excuse your behavior? No, absolutely not. Everybody is accountable for their own self, their own feelings, their own actions. You are accountable for you. So how you choose to act in that nigga moment is completely your choice. You know what I'm saying? It's a choice to act, you know what I'm saying, niggerish, or to give somebody a pass full of grace. Now, if we all have had things that we've gone through in our past, but we can either choose to wallow in that shit, stay there in that low vibration bullshit, or we can choose to elevate. You know, you have to take time to sit back and understand who you are, what your triggers are, and you know what I'm saying, and actually what you're fully capable of. You know, I know people first starting out, they may not understand, you know, who they are or what triggers them and things of that nature, but it's your responsibility as a responsible person to find out those things about yourself. So therefore you can be a better neighbor, a better steward to other people. Because otherwise we're just going to be out here arguing and fussing, fighting with everybody all the time because I'm always right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I don't give passes.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Divine Priestess. Let's see. Where did I unmute?
Oh, ooh, wee, baby, Aquarius, honey. Oh, girl. Listen, I'm sorry. I don't mean to call you girl as a sign of disrespect, but auntie, when I say hit that thing on the head, there is a difference between grace and willful negligence. And in our community, willful negligence runs rampant. We do not hold each other accountable, let alone ourselves. You know what I mean? And it's like I was saying before with that mirror time. Because sometimes we the nigga in the nigga moment. You know what I'm saying? We the unstable ones. We the Karens. You know what I mean? And in those moments, nobody's there really holding us accountable. And let's just be honest, 90% of us, our culture, was not taught accountability. We've been taught to put everything, the devil made me do it, Jesus gonna forgive me. There is no internal accountability. Whether you worship Allah or whatever, nobody goes inside. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And when you hit, whoo, man, that thing gave me chill. A crazy moon hit that thing on the head. We do not and should not allow grace when it is willful negligence. There is a direct difference between willful negligence and someone that does not know. That is called ignorance. We can tell when someone is ignorant, lack of knowledge, lack of know-how, lack of empathy. We know those people. That's where grace comes in. But those nigga moments, that willful negligence, take your ass on. I'm complete.
Word. See, you know what? I love how y'all just like hitting it right on point, right? Because Carl Jung, he used to talk about, you know, dealing with that whole shadow shit, whatever, and everything. But one thing he said that was really right on point and really resonated for me is he said, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with darkness of other people. But see, I got some small concerns with that, y'all. Because right now, when I scroll through social media, I hear the new word, the new catchword to call folks that's in a space is narcissistic. And everybody is identifying a lot of the selfish behaviors, a lot of antisocial behaviors, a lot of histrionic personality behaviors as a narcissist. And so we get caught up with these terms. And my biggest concern is that if we are taking a lot of these therapist terms, we're using a lot of this terminology to identify where everyone's at. How is that going to help us in finding healing within ourselves if we sitting around identifying everybody as a narcissist or these behaviors as narcissists? But I'm gonna tell you the truth. Where my real concern is that I'm not really sure that we're in a space where it's being accountable. I'm not really sure that we're in a space where we're really dealing with what the true issue is. Go ahead, Priestess. Let's hear what you got to say about that.
See, this goes directly back to what I was saying. In us always being raised to look on the outside, it became popular and quirky and catchy to everybody become clinical physicians. Now everybody want to say, you're narcissist, this is toxic, this is traumatic, when they don't even know what the hell that means.
Right.
Because everyone, like I tell people all the time, you can look at your life as a simple math problem and determine whether it's toxic, traumatic, narcissistic, any of these other little catchy terms. If you are the common denominator out of everybody and somebody always fucked up around you, it's you. No way you got 30 different friends, 30 different associates, co-workers, and everything, and all of them fucked up and you all right. No, it's impossible. You know what I mean? It goes back to basic math. And that's why I personally attempt to stay away from all these new catchy ass phrases. Oh, you're so toxic. Shut up. Someone telling you how you hurt them is not them being toxic. You see what I'm saying? And it's like we've come to the point we're so busy looking outside, so ready to point the finger that we forget that we are allowed to express and disagree respectfully. I don't have to agree with you to and have ill feelings towards you. I can disagree and move the hell on just fine because we're not all here to live the same experience.
Right.
So I expect a disagreement now and then. I also know who to 90% of the time know who to expect it from and on what subject.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I just we're so external.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean society, not even just our culture. Society is so external. And that's why I was really, really glad when 2020 came through here because it sent everybody inside. See, a lot of people looked at that as a physical sit down. That was a spiritual sit down. That was an emotional sit down. That was an educational sit down.
Yeah.
That was the world review. You want to talk about a renaissance moment. The great reset, the great reboot. Look at just today, I was watching the news and they were talking about how the kids' reading scores were down 19%. And no, I'm sorry, that was math. The reading scores was down 6.5% because they didn't know before COVID. They couldn't read before COVID. They
Right.
couldn't read. I mean, they couldn't do the math before, but it showed everybody where everything was broken. When it happened, you saw how many people had faith. You saw their faith. When you saw the people that were so spiritual online, but then the next thing you know, they running hiding under the desk. This ain't no goddamn tornado. What is you under the desk for?
Right. Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying? This
Yes.
joint sent everybody inside, and it was a beautiful reset if you took the time and used it wisely.
Absolutely.
You know, it was so many people. I can't wait till these kids go back to school. Why? You live with the human being that you gave birth to that you don't know. Why the hell you ready to send them off to somebody?
Right. Right. 'Cause
Man,
we all busy. Okay. Okay. Hold up. I see
yeah.
Aquarius moon. Hold up. Let me get you in here. All right, miss. Aquarius moon. I can't unmute you.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So, what I wanted to talk about was the point that you made about dealing with our own darkness and being able to recognize the darkness in others, because that has been essentially my journey. Growing up, well, not what was after I was grown, I want to say about mid-20s. You know, my mom, well, no, it was growing up. She basically told us, you can't tell what you like if you haven't tried it. You can't say whether you like it or whether you do like it or you don't like it because you don't know, you haven't tried it. So, you know, and I've always been willing to have an experience, you know what I mean? Whether it be a good experience, a bad experience, I needed to have that experience so I can learn from it. So that has been my journey and how I've been able to decipher a lot of the stuff, you know what I'm saying, that comes to me. Because, you know, people come to me and I can already decipher things about them that, you know, I would have no reason for knowing, you know. But it's because of the situations and things that I have been through and knowing my darkness and my light. It comes from knowing me that I can better relate to other people and extend them grace, you know what I'm saying, in certain areas because I've been there and done that. And even so, even in things that I haven't experienced personally, you know, with me being the empath and being able to feel those feelings without having to go through it personally, I can still have that compassion for others. Also, it allows me to see when somebody's trying to manipulate, trying to gaslight, trying to throw me under the bus, you know, all that type shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to maneuver this world a little bit better and be able to shake the shit off, because before I would be so upset, like, how could somebody say that about me? Or how could somebody do that to me, you know? But now it's kind of easier to shake it off because I understand that everybody has that scale. That's one thing that you taught me. It's not black and white, it's scale. So,
Mhm,
you know, good,
mhm,
evil.
mhm.
And then I wanted to speak on what the priestess spoke about as far as the common denominator, because I've had that conversation with so many people on so many different levels. And it's like that person who's always coming to you with an issue, and it's always the same issue, but they're not seeing it as the same issue. And it's like you have to look to yourself, because how is it that this person is having an issue with you? This person is having an issue with you. This person over here having an issue with you too, and they don't even know each other, but they
Right.
all know you.
Right. Hello, somebody. Hello.
Yeah. So, you
Absolutely.
know, that's just what I had to say about it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Priestess Kavina.
Hey, ladies and gents. Um, I like to talk about the common denominator too, because I really thought that was a cool point. I've come to understand that it's on a scale as well, because one thing is one thing for me. In my common denominator, and I'm just speak personally for me, I've realized it's not that I'm the issue, it's that we were raised to be codependent in my family. So
Mm.
difference in that area of you being a problem. And so I agree with the sister, the priestess Andrea, but I also feel that it's a scale even in that. Because if you're the common denominator for me, I was naturally raised to be an enabler, someone that's codependent, someone that enables. So then I do get the dudes with mommy issues, the mothering, people that need to be mothered. And so, yes, it is something like the sister priestess Andrea said, it is something trauma I need to work on with my childhood of being abandoned. It also doesn't mean that I'm necessarily a problem. And I think that I agree when priestess Andrea says, she said it so much more elegantly. I really believe that we are word whores because we have this instant gratification with social media. We've become so sensitive to words that if someone doesn't agree, we automatically think it's an attack. And that's not really the reality. It's about iron sharpens iron. Every queen fixes another queen's crown, and whatever the hell men say when they're checking each other, you know. But that close knit of saying, hey, this is how I want to be treated in these things. It's an issue when we're setting barriers now, because we have all this instant gratification with the social media and people just really hiding behind these things.
Right.
So I find that it's a big point for me, even with my children, when they say, oh, can we get an Instagram? I'm like, at what hours does your blood flow left to right ventricle to left ventricle? And what hour of the day does your blood flow left ventricle to right? They say, I don't know. Then don't talk to me about social media. Like, so I do agree with what both women are saying, is that it is a very intrinsic moment. It is a renaissance moment for us, that our teachers, because we could either go straight to the ego side, where now we are dictating people's lives, or we can still stay in the balance side, but we still have all these scales, you know, like the scale of my aunt. We're constantly, and sometimes our heart is heavy and sometimes it's light. But I think what's important is that we're all different in how we interpret information, how spirit comes to us, how spirit moves through us. And if we can actually just hear one another's experiences, I think that social media has really taken us out of the place of having to listen. Even with me, when I read a post, if it's longer than a paragraph, I'm skimming it. And I can skip it, but I'm skipping that shit. I get scared. Let me go ahead and respond. Like, I'm guilty of it. Like, I'm dead ass. I'm guilty of that shit. But it's like, now if I go and now you want to talk that same 5 paragraphs in my ear, can I keep up with you? Do I have enough humanitarianism to actually connect with you human to human, whether I agree or disagree? And I think that's kind of what we're up against, when it comes to humanity being extinct, is our ability and inability to really just communicate, even if there are differences. I mean, all of us here are melanated people, but we're all different melanated people. We are not the same black, and that's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's when you try to say, because I'm having nigga moments, you need to have nigga moments, and because I'm not having nigga moments, you shouldn't have nigga. Like, And I think that's something where it's been a struggle, especially with me having a 12, 10, and now 8-year-old, with the judgment aspect and really allowing people to be themselves. Like some of the conversations my children have, they had a racist conversation. They think one of the coaches is racist. And I had to ask my daughter, like, half the people that are saying this, them motherfuckers is Cuban. They ain't even white. So what are they? They're people of color, but they don't even know they're people of color. So how can we really make these kind of, strong statements if we don't even know the nationality of the people you're talking to? So I told her, rule number 1, you don't talk about.
So true, so fucking true. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. So true.
That's my thing.
Are you finished, Priestess?
Yes, no, that was it. It was just
okay.
That's it for me.
Okay, cool.
I agree with you.
I'm sorry, lady. Brother Anthony, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah. I just I just text too about distractions. You know what I mean? Like, even since a kid, I had many distractions in my life. Look, I was talking, me and my ex is a roommate. So she just about to come in here busting in my office. You know what I mean? So I'm like talking. So that's the reason why, like, a nigga like me get frustrated sometimes, but at the end of the day, that's where the spirit is, like, that's where that mamba energy, that's where discipline comes into. Like, honestly, I'm the type of dude, like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like, I will admit it. I come from a world where motherfuckers, they was built on that process of being wrong. They love it. And I was the one that suffered for it. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to just go back to the drawing board. That's what we do. Like, we go back to the drawing board and we fix it, and we go in the wherever our laboratory is, we go there and fix it, and we do some more work. And shout outs to all my divine women out there. Like, y'all is doing an amazing job. Like, if it wasn't for y'all, where would I be? You know what I mean? If it wasn't for my mom, where would I be? And I appreciate that, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even have compassion for my own life. You know what I mean? I could have been gone a long time ago. But at the end of the day, I have a divine purpose, and I can't beat myself up. And all the stuff that's going on in the world, and everything that's going on around us, you gotta stay focused on the path. And what is the path? We all got certain paths. We all got certain avenues. We all come down to the round table. We all come to the Cypher and make it happen. Like, it's consistency. And that's what I'm focused on, consistency. And, shout outs to everybody that's out here just lost, because it's a lot of people lost. I feel like I be sometimes in the low vibration, like, man, I want to go somewhere else sometimes. But I'm still focused on getting everything right, because it is compassion. We did talk about compassion earlier, and I know what compassion is, but how do you define compassion sometimes? Because it's a thin line between love and hate. You know what I mean? And that's where compassion come in. You know what I mean? Something could happen to you, and that can go out the window for years. So how can you get back to compassion? You know what I mean? And especially as niggas, when I had many nigga moments, and I swear to God, anybody test me, it's like, no, no, I'm wilding out. But my higher self, the divine, helped me to get in line. And I just wanted to appreciate all the women on here, just putting that feminine energy, just that divine energy back on earth, back to where I can ground myself, because I know what to do. Some of my homies do not know what to do. They don't. and it's up to me. I felt like that was a big burden, like, you know. But look at Axel. Look at Quantum Line.
Mhm,
You know, like
mhm.
um, it's crazy because like everything that's been happening, like life is a challenge, and the ones that's up against a lot, they're destined to do greatness. But
Mhm.
it's up to you to stand up to the plate to do it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I just want to do something different, no matter if I'm right, no matter if it looks right or wrong. Some people just look at me, oh, you need to stop doing this, you need to stop doing that. Bro, you don't know my life though.
Right,
Oh, you
right.
say that you this or that. Like, bro, you don't know my life. At 7 years old, I was talking about revelations.
Check.
Nah, no, you can go ask my mom, bro.
Yeah.
You go ask my mom. And stuff like that, that's where the compassion comes from. Like, I have to tap into my feminine energy because my mom used to always she used to always abuse me about how, you know, my father used to abuse her, and she used to tell me I used to remind her of her father. So, and my dad. So I used to be in the middle. Like, that's why I'm a Libra. That's why I came in this lifetime as a Libra, because I had to balance everything out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm stepping up to the plate. Like, I'm here to say, like, man, look, I'm in a human body, but at the end of the day, I got a higher self that's gonna raise to the occasion. And I'm ready for war, and I'm ready to do everything.
Let's
You know what
get
I
it.
mean? I
Let's
bounce
get it.
back.
Let's get
I
it.
bounce back
Okay.
like Big Sean, you know. So I
Okay.
just appreciate y'all, and you know, much love to y'all. Like, I would never stop. I can't stop. So
We
that's
appreciate and
it.
love you too, brother. Okay, okay. Let's get the divine priest. I think she put her hand up first. We get you in, let you chime in. Thank you, brother.
Okay, I wanted to chime in on what Anthony said.
Mm,
Um, because I think this is very important, especially in today's time. He asked the question, how do
mm.
we get back to compassion? Right. And I see this a lot, and I've been asking myself, what's the next step? Because once you identify, like right now, social media and society is stuck on the identification, but nobody's thought about the next step. And if they have thought about it, they haven't taken it. They haven't shared it with
Right, right.
anybody. You know? And so I love the fact that you asked that question, brother, because this is where I would say, and this is just me, you hit on it a little bit, but this is where I would tell everybody, go inside. Every single thing that we need is already in us, whether we have identified it or not, right? And so when we come to looking for compassion, I often say to myself, well, did I exhibit compassion when so and so called me? You know, I always bring it back to me because at the end of the day, right? If you look at yourself as a solar system, and your coworkers and your friends, your family, the people you run into, they're just all a part of your solar system. They're just planetary alignments, right? But in your planetary alignment, you are the sun.
Mm,
You are the one that don't move. You stand on your square and you be solid, whatever that is for you, right? And that doesn't mean this my hood. I'm a real nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you tell somebody be real, I am real. I keep it real. G, this my set. I don't wear that shit. Nah, keep it real. If
mm,
something hurts your feelings, let a motherfucker know. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like something, let them know. You don't have to be rude with it. But
mm.
hey, son, I ain't like that. You don't have to you might have to go and come again. I mean, you know what I mean? There's different ways to word it, but for real, I just say stand on your square, know what you are willing to accept, and where you draw the line. And that again, that's a boundary, right? But it's like in finding compassion, we must display compassion.
Mm,
And a lot of times, displaying compassion means being vulnerable. And that's very dangerous in today's society. It really
mm.
is. So I get it. You know what I mean? But that's what I would say. Stand on your square and just let a motherfucker know, like, oh, I don't like that. Hey, I love that. I appreciate that. And before I complete, I do want to say thank you for acknowledging all the divine women out here, because we are the backbones of our culture, y'all.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, if we not exhibiting compassion, how we teaching our sons how to exhibit compassion?
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So I thank you for that. I'm complete.
All right. All right. We at the 4-minute point. Let's get these two ladies in before we wrap it up. Aquarius Moon, I think your hand was up first. Let's get you in.
Okay, so
Right.
yes, I wanted to speak about with Brother Anthony when he said how to find compassion as well. Because and then the divine priestess, she hit exactly what I was gonna say on the head. To find that compassion is always within.
Mm,
Anything that you're looking for is always within. It's never without. So when you maneuver, around your neighborhood, around, in your life period. So when someone comes to you and you can feel, what I'm saying, that disdain or, that dislike for you or the situation or what have you, if you can put yourself in that person's shoes and understand how you feel when you don't like something and or something is bothering you, then you can have compassion for how that person is feeling at the time. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a confrontation or anything like that. And when she was saying, let a motherfucker know, you know what I'm saying? I was raised in a house where my mom told me, you can tell me anything. You can even tell me you hate my fucking guts, but just be careful on how you say it.
mm.
So you need to take time before you just jump down somebody's throat, maybe try to make your words a little softer, but you don't ever have to mask who you are, but have that compassion for someone else and treat them how you would want to be treated yourself.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Let me.
Also, one more point that I want to add is compassion may look a lot different to everybody. Everybody has their own form of compassion,
Mm,
so that's another thing that you have to that throws a little monkey wrench in the situation as well, because what someone else might feel as compassionate, somebody else feels like that's a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean?
real talk.
So there's a scale on that as well too. And I'm done.
All right. Thank you, lady. Miss Priestess Kavina, let's get you in here real quick before we wrap it.
Yeah, everything everyone said about compassion is beautiful. One thing I will say to Brother Anthony is that I totally understand where you're coming from. My mom had 8 children and she gave all of us up. And really moving through that space of being still in the family but not raised with her, I've learned that being honest with her is compassion because no one has done it. So, like the sister said, it looks differently. So,
Mm,
you just have to figure out really your place in your family. You don't understand the place of your family. And when you get to that place of saying, this is the energy I bring to the family, it really comes full circle where you'll be able to move through certain energies. And it's very uncomfortable. I'm 36 and it's still uncomfortable. And
yeah.
I've been doing it for like 10 years, doing the work with Miss Blue and Brother Blah and priestesses and, doing the thing. Like it's a lot of work. I send you a lot of love because it's hard. And I'm really, really sorry that you went through those things.
Mm,
Um, because there is a trauma there. And that trauma shows up every day and it's often when we least expect it. So I send you love in that area of being aware of when those triggers are, because one of the priestesses said earlier,
I gotta wrap it up.
yeah,
I gotta
so
wrap
send
it
that
up.
love.
Hold up. All right, y'all. So yeah. Mm, mm, mm. What a powerful discussion we had today. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Did you want to finish your point real quick before I closed it?
No, priestess.
All right.
This has been beautiful. No, you did, but this has been wonderful.
You know what, y'all have just really came through and like really brought that energy. Like, see, this is what I've been talking about how we can bring this practical, this work that we've been doing, how we can bring that shit down to earth. You know what I'm saying? And when we learn about how we navigate in these energies, like ain't nobody above the struggle. We all navigate it at some point or the other. The thing is how can we support each other in being able to move past it and move through it? And so I do appreciate the priestesses. I appreciate you, Aquarius Moon, and I appreciate you, Brother Anthony, for really coming through and really bringing your insight and your perspective here to the table. And we gonna do this cipher yet again. If y'all can come, if it is appointed in y'all's heart, then I ask you to please see us again next week, same time, same place. We will be working with the 10 of Pentacles energy. This is all shit, yeah. And if y'all don't know, money right. Let's get it, y'all. This is that energy that we really want to get connected to. So we go talk about it and we go work with that energy and we go talk about how we can navigate it, how we can connect to it, and whatever else spirit brings to me and brings to y'all so that we can deal with it. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you all so much for coming through. Peace and light, peace and love.
Peace and light, peace and love.
Peace, peace.